Hey everyone, Randy here for Go Midwest Fishing, and if you've seen my channel lately, you know I got a new camper. It's the Coachman Apex Nano, and like most new campers these days, they come pre-wired for a Furrion backup camera. You see it's right about there, right between the marker lights. So I fully intended on getting one of those, and as I did the research to figure out which one I wanted, I noticed a lot of reviews were complaining about the Furrion camera, saying two main complaints. One has a very long lag between what's happening in reality and what they're seeing on their monitor, and then the monitor was kind of fuzzy, not a real clear picture. And most people suggested to get the Haloview camera, and said it worked a whole lot better. So after doing my research, I decided I'm going with the Haloview, and I thought, what the heck, I'll just send them an email, see if they would send me one to do a review on. And they came back and said, sure, we'd love to do that under one condition, that I do an honest review of it. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Now, my camper's not very long, so I just asked for a single backup camera, and they actually gave me a little bit of an upgraded package here. This is the Haloview BT7 with tire pressure monitoring. So it has the one backup camera in the back here, and then it can monitor up to, I think, 32 tires. So that's pretty awesome. Now let's step into my office. We'll open up the box, see what's in here. Okay, the first thing you're going to be wondering is, it's pre-wired for a Furrion camera, so how is the Haloview going to fit on there? Well, they make kits specifically for that. They have little adapters that connect into the ends of where the Furrion would plug into. And then the bracket on the back just easily comes off with a screwdriver, and you take that bracket off and put the Haloview bracket on. So pretty simple. Just because it's pre-wired for a Furrion doesn't mean you have to have the Furrion camera. All right, let's see what's in the box. And again, this is one with just the single backup camera and the tire pressure monitoring. You can get ones for like longer camper stuff, side marker cameras too, so you can see views off either side. Get the manuals here, how to use it, the user manual, and then, all right, here is the monitor, and this is nice. It's the BT7 is a 7-inch monitor, so I love the bigger monitor you get. And then here is the new bracket that you'll be getting, that you'll just mount right on the camper instead of the other one. It's got a little pre-wired plug right there. You just plug it into what's already there. We give you several different mounts for the viewfinder here, the monitor in your truck, so you can do it several different ways. This one, yeah, it looks like it just slides on there. So this one's a suction cup. You can suck it right to your dash. And what else we got here? This one has some 3M tape on it. So this one, you know, you can permanently adhere it to your dash. All right. Okay, here's the part that I'm gonna have to read up on a little bit. So it comes with these two signal boosters, and this is for the tire pressure monitoring only, because you have right here these little tire caps. See these right here? This is what's going to monitor your tire pressure, and to get the signal all the way from the tires up to the front of your truck, it needs a little boost. So I'll be showing you how to wire these in too. I've been talking with Haloview back and forth here to determining the best place to put these. So they have specific spots they want them, so I'll let you know about that. And these boosters come with like just alligator clips, so you can clip it on, or you can cut those off and just wire it right into your system too. All right, I'm going to just leave the tire pressure monitors right in the styrofoam there. All right, we got 3 antennas, so the one goes on the actual camera itself, the other 2 go on the monitor inside your truck. All right, we got a few adapters. This is a pairing cable. I believe this is, I'll have to read up on this. I think it's when you pair the tires with the system here. Got a power cord for the old cigarette lighter, 12-volt adapter. A couple more different ends here, USB cords. All right, so figure out what all these are for. Little metal bracket, some tie straps, some screws. I got 6 lithium batteries, the little coin type ones. Then a little packet full of adhesive and So I'll probably stick something somewhere. All right, that's all that's in the box. So now I'm going to read the manual here, figure exactly how to put it in, and I'll show you how I'm doing it. I just read through all the manual, and they say before you install it, you should pair the camera with the monitor. Make sure that's all working before you get it all installed on your vehicle. So what they do is they use an external power source. I'm just going to use this one here. You can go inside your truck or use a cigarette lighter or whatever you want. And then they have this pairing cord right here. So it's just a splitter basically, so you can power both things at the same time. So just plug that in to that, and then this into each one. There are two different ends on here. There's a bigger end that goes into the camera and a smaller end that goes into the monitor. Alright, they should both be powered. Now we'll just turn on the monitor. There's buttons on both sides of this here. So on the right side is the power button. This is my first time turning this on, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, comes on, says no signal. Alright. Alright, let's just screw the antennas on. Forgot about that part. Oh, nope. Came right on. But you can hear it records voice too, and it's coming through the monitor. Hit the menu button, volume, and let's mute. There. Hit the mute on. Okay, now, yeah, so this also records, video and sound, so I just had to turn that off so we don't get that echo. Alright, let's go back, hit the menu system. Let's see, pairing button. Please press pair key. Okay, so on the side here, there's a pairing button. Press and hold that. So it says it automatically comes paired with channel 4 from the factory. I see it's on channel 4. So it's already paired because I'm already getting a picture showing all good. So I think we're good to go on that front. It's all working. Alright, let's go back outside and install it on the camper. Before I throw the camera on, I just want to show you what the back of it looks like. Just kind of open here. Comes with this plate right here. So I'm just going to string the cord through. That just fits right in there. Like that. And then I'm going to put 4 little screws that come in the little bag there. Screw the back plate on. Let's get this nice rubber grommet thing that goes on the back here to seal it against the camper. That tiny little hole in there, but it's it'll stretch out. Take the big end of the cord here, shove it through there. There you go, stretches right around it. Boom, and fits nice and tight. So all that should line up with the holes on the back side, and then this just goes right through the little hole of the camper. That should already be drilled and wired for us. Alright, here is our Furrion bracket. So first thing I'm doing, there's 4 screws on the front here. I can just pull off, see what's in there, and then there's another 4 screws that hold the whole bracket on. Just give me an idea what's in here first before I pull the whole thing down. Tiny little screws, so don't lose them. Here it comes. A little screwdriver there pops that little cover right off. Looks like it has a little pull here right at the top you can grab. Alright, so that's just a little door. If you look here, it's got one little wire here with a plug in it. Yep, right there. Little cap on it. So I believe it comes with that a little adapter that should connect right to this plug. We'll see if that works. But first I'm going to take off this entire bracket. We don't need that. So I got some self-drilling screws holding this in. Right, pops right off. That's all that little bracket is. See right there. Just 4 screws holding on, and then you got this rubber grommet thing. It should just peel right off. Yeah. Looks like I got a little silicone around the edges there. So just push this through the back side. There we go. Looks like about a 1-inch hole or so right here that you can see all the wires. All right, this is the short little adapter cord. Should plug right into the bottom of this. And it does, and then this plugs right into your Furrion camera. So we're gonna see, shove this all back in there. See if there's enough room in this camper anyway. There ain't much room behind the camera to like coil it behind it, so you're gonna wanna see if you can shove it all back into here. All right, so you know, there's a little silicone here. I'm gonna get some cleaner and wipe that off, and then I'll be right back. All right, I got some goo gone here. We'll see if that'll get rid of it. It's kind of looking pretty ugly up here with smeared silicone. It's working a little bit, but not as good as I want it to. I'm gonna try one more thing. Hopefully it won't ruin the camper. Got some parts cleaner. This usually gets rid of everything. Let's try a little bit. Oh, it wipes right off. Yeah. Okay, that's the way to go. Good old parts cleaner and degreaser. Stuff just comes off like butter. All right, now they did give me some stainless screws, looks like, to go in these holes, but since I just took those 4 screws out that fit those holes perfectly, I think I'm just gonna reuse those 4 screws, since they were kind of made for that hole. That way I know they'll fit in there. Another thing I want to show you is this cord's kind of long. I was able to push a little bit back up into here, so it ain't quite so long. I don't have to shove so much into the camper. And I also want to show you this little green wire right here. That's that can be used as a trigger wire. So if you turn, make a left turn or right turn, something like that, it'll automatically switch the camera view to that. Or you can hook it up to a backup light so it turns on when you back up. You don't need that green wire, so I'm just going to leave it unhooked because I'm not going to use that. I don't have any side turn signals. All right, so this is just plug right into the Haloview one. A little adapter. All right, appears to be connected. Let's see if I can't put this up into there. It's kind of a tight fit. Looks like I went though. All right, good news is the holes in the Haloview match exactly with the one from the Furrion, so that's not going to be a problem. The only problem is getting all the wires in there. It's kind of tight. Looks good right there. Now what I'm going to do, just because I want to, I'm going to put a little flex seal in the holes, in the screw holes there, just to make sure they stay watertight. Just don't want water in between the walls at all. Just make sure these are snug, not too tight or it'll strip out. So I see the rubber grommet on the back there kind of spread out. And now, like they did before, I think I'm going to put just a feed of caulk right along the top there to keep water from coming in. Next is to install the monitor in the truck, put the antennas on, and see if we got enough signal to reach the front. Point it straight up. All right, hopefully that works. If not, they do make an extended range kit where you can run a wire up to the front, have the antenna there, but we'll see if this works. It's only it's like 22.5 feet long, whole camper, so it's not too long. It should be able to reach. I got the monitor inside the truck here. I'm gonna use the window suction cup one to start off. It's got a little slot here right in the back, and that just slides right into there. You just tighten this up, and now you just suction it to the window. I'll start right here. We'll see how I like it. I may adjust it later and move it different spots. And it's got a little screw back here. You can just adjust the angle. Right, face it towards the driver just a little bit. Now these antennas are hitting my windshield right here, so I'll bend them forward like that. If that doesn't work, I can move it down here, move it somewhere else. Next we need to power it, and I got a Dodge Ram. It's got a 12-volt power source right here, so I'll just plug it in right there. All right, now a thing to know about these, they're actually wired into your running lights, so you have to have your running lights on in order for it to power the camera in the back. You can also use these cameras as like a security camera when you are camping, but you'll have to wire it to a hot 12-volt source that's on all the time, and then maybe put a little switch in there to turn it on and off. But when you're driving like this, hooked into the pre-wired stuff, it's hooked into the running lights, so I'll turn those on. All right, switch it. If you're in auto mode, that, you know, it'll turn them off during the day, so in the daytime, you actually go to on. Boom, there it is. It shows up, so it says you should have at least 2 bars. I'm showing 1, 2, 3 bars, so looks like we got good signal. Now, there's gonna be all kinds of menu options. I can turn on and off these backup bars. You can do a mirror image, so it, like what's on the left side of the screen's actually on the left side of the car. And let's see, I think I need to flip it around, because here's the driveway, and to me it looks like the driveway should be this way. So we'll flip that around. So let's see, menu mode. There it is, the mirror. So let's flip it this way. There, now everything's the side that it should be if I'm looking out my front window. Since the camera is actually, you know, pointing backwards, you're gonna see a backwards image. That's why you gotta flip it around. Okay, now we know it works. I'm gonna put on the tire pressure monitoring system and pair those up. All right, now we're gonna take off the little caps here and just screw them on to our tires. So take the cap off this one, you won't need that anymore. And then this cap comes off. There's a spot for a battery in there, so it's the CR 1632. Put one of those in. It's a hot day out here. It's like 90 degrees. Whew, not used to this heat. All right, so put the battery in with the positive facing up. Screw the cap back on. They do make an anti-theft system too if you want to use that, so they can't take these off. I'm not going to worry about that for now. All right, going on our screen, we are on T1, so trailer wanted leave. Click on the wheel you want, so we want that wheel. And then we click, I think, auto learn, and then screw this on within 15 seconds. It says waiting, and if it works, it should automatically identify it. Each one of these has a number on the cap, which identifies which pressure monitor it is. I just did it on the other side and it all worked. You gotta do it in a certain order. Try it again here. So auto learn one more time. Screw it on. Took two tries on the other side. This one, I'm not sure. He said you gotta do it in a certain order. There it goes. Just took a couple tries. So you can also do a manual ID. If you press that, there's a little number on the cap. You can just manually type it in. And the auto learn, I think it said it sets the high pressure 120% of what it's registering at the moment. And it also has a high temp sensor, so you can manually put those in, but there's some defaults already in there. If you just want to leave them as is, you can. So I got my monitor out here real close to the tire pressure monitor. I got it plugged into my power source here. So it's an easy way to pair it so you don't have to keep, running back and forth or whatever. But now for this to get signal up to the cab, I'm going to install the booster. So let's go over that next. All right, now we're going to install the booster so it can put the signal from the tire pressure monitor up to the cab. So they need a kind of halfway point. So on a travel trailer like this, the manual suggests somewhere between the hitch and the trailer, so right on the tongue area here. And it's not supposed to be surrounded by sheets of iron or like inside the camper. I was talking to the reps at Haloview. They said they want it on the outside. I originally thought in the pass-through storage, but they're like, no, we don't like it there. We want it on the outside somewhere. So I'm going to try this one here, right on the tongue. I don't have my battery on the tongue. I installed mine in the pass-through there because I have a huge battery. But luckily, these boosters come with enough cable. There's probably about 6-7 feet of cable here, so it goes pretty far. So I already installed this. I'll show you how I put it on there. All right, so right here is where the battery should go, but I have mine inside here. So I'm just gonna put it on the frame, like halfway between the hitch and the trailer, a little bit close to the trailer here. It's got a little sticky pad on the bottom there. I can stick it down and I can use some tie straps. I just wanna make sure it works first. So on top there, you got green, tells you the power's on, and then this lights up blue to tell you got signal, and it was just blinking blue. There you go. So it just flashed blue. There you go. So it looks like it's getting signal. And then for me, I just ran it underneath here. Ran the wires, and I got a little hole there I went up through into the battery area. So I'll show you what that looks like. All right, going into my pass-through, this is where I put my battery. I got a big old 280 amp hour battery, lithium battery in there. I just came up through the floor right here, and then I just took the 2 alligator clips and just clipped them right onto the battery terminals. So pretty simple. Now the book says to start with one of them right here. If that doesn't give you enough signal, they give you a second one there you're gonna put back by the tires. So I'm gonna go turn this on, see if I get any signal. If it works, we're good. If not, I'll put this other one in. One thing on the installation note though, these alligator clips, if you look, they spread about 4 to 5 inches apart. Not far enough to reach your battery terminal, so I did have to cut some of this rubber coating off and spread them out enough to be able to touch the battery terminals. And it says right here it uses 0.3 watts at 12 volts. So if your camper is just sitting, you probably don't want this just using power all the time. So you just take the alligator clip and pull it off your battery when it's not in use. When you travel, just hook it back up. Otherwise, if you do, plug it into your wiring, I'd suggest put it into your running lights, because when you turn the lights on to run the camera, it'll power the whole system. Your lights are off, they'll shut off. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. Here, you got the truck on here, and right there we got both tires showing tire pressure monitoring. So I think we'll be good with just that one booster. Go back like this, and you can also see it right up here in the corner. See, it blinks the left tire right there, and then it'll blink the right tire, and it shows the pressure and the temperature on both. All right, I'm going to go through the menu system and kind of get it set up, then we're going to take it on a little test drive. This does have a SD card you put in. It comes with mine came with a 64 gigabyte card, and you can record the screen. So I'm going to play around with it here, see if I can actually record the screen so you can see it as I'm driving. If not, I'll set up a camera so you can see it. But we'll do that next. I'm going to show you a few of the menu systems. You just touch the screen. These are all the channels. We're on channel 4 right now. Cube mode puts it in if you have multiple cameras, which I don't have, so that doesn't do anything. So we want channel 4. That's ours. So you press it there. You'd have a menu button right here. It gives you all those. But if you just hit it and tap it again, you get all the quick menu items right here. So like the backup lines, press that. Now I got them. And you got to hit it twice, and again, turn them off. And I don't think I want the backup lines on, so I turn the volume on, the brightness, so you boom. You can just, it has 6, 7, 8, a bunch of different levels anyway, each one of those dots. This I think is the LED lights on the camera, and this is, I press that, and I can start recording. So I'm gonna bring that in the house, see what it looks like. And then TPMS brings up your tires. There's my 2 trailer tires. Go back there. So now I can also hit on there, and it'll show the tire pressure right there. All right, I'm back. Record. All right, we are recording. Let's go take a drive around the block. All right, we are on the road. Kind of live out in the country here, so a little bit of a country road, not a whole lot of traffic. We'll go into kind of in town and back around so we can see more cars. So far what I noticed, I just did a test recording of this and I brought it in the house, played it on the computer, and what I found was that it's an AVI file and my computer didn't want to play it. I don't know, maybe you just need a newer computer, but I couldn't get it to play it. I had to put it into Handbrake and convert it to an MP4 file. So in my mirrors right now, I cannot see the car behind me, but I can see him on the camera. So it does help knowing what's behind you. Still showing like 3 bars of signal, so it is getting plenty of signal back from the camera in the back. And let's see, another thing I noticed when I played the file on my computer was that none of the menu systems that came up. It was just the picture of the camera only. So you won't get, you know, I was trying to play around with the menu system for you, but you won't see any of that on the recording. So I got another camera recording this to show you that. All right, the other thing I want to see is if there's any camera lag. All right, there's a sign here. See when it passes. It's going by the front of the truck right now, behind the camper, and oh, I gotta pick something bigger. Let's see if I adjust the contrast. That's in the picture. So the picture contrast seems to be a little much. Let's go with 5. I think the picture looks a little better with a little less contrast. This is the first time I've used a backup camera on a camper, and man, what a difference that makes. You see everything behind you. Normally, you know, it just blocks my view here and I can't see much behind me. So yeah, like my mirrors right now, cannot see that truck that's in the camera. Makes a big difference. Seems to be pointed about right though. I think it was good right out of the box there. I didn't have to, you can tilt it up and down as needed, but I think we're good. Now this does have 1080p resolution, and it looks pretty good on the screen. It does look like it's not the smoothest video. Almost looks like it's at a slow frame rate, but when I checked it was at 30 frames per second, so it's probably just how it looks. All right, last turn and we're home. Okay, here's a full-length view of the whole system. So the camera's right there. Said the camper's like 22 feet 8 inches, I think. And there's the truck. I think I measured about 35 feet from the monitor to the antenna, the camera on the back. But had no issues, didn't need any extenders or anything. And only used the 1 booster for the tire pressure monitoring. So if you have a much bigger camper, you may need 2 boosters and maybe get a extender for your antenna, but I'm getting good signal at this distance. All right, the install went pretty easy, and so far I'm really happy with it. If you want to check it out for yourself, just look down in the description there. I put all the links. Everyone, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.